Hello and welcome back everyone in my precious garden. This is the June 25 edition and let's see what's in bloom in the garden today. First of all, I want to say how happy I am that my camera is finally fixed, so I can take nice photos and videos for you and for me. So yeah, very happy with that. Quite a few things have changed since the last garden tour. Let's start by showing you the flowers that I have in my garden in June. This is in my front garden and this rose is Eustacia Vi. It's starting its second flush and I have a very nice companion plant just behind. It's a clary sage, Salvia viridis. It is so nice. It's the pink one that you have just behind. It exists in purple and I think there's a third color too. In this container I have a nice heliotrope doing fine. And then let's show you all my petunia flower family. So first of all, there's this beauty. I really like how it looks. And then there's this gorgeous one. Look how it's glowing. I have this simple but yet effective white one, adding some feeling of freshness in the garden in summer. This one makes me feel like it's summer or summer holidays. It is so cute. And then there's this one. Quite nice too. And you don't see it here, but it is with some verbena, pink ones. And here is a pink fuchsia bougainvillea. So when everything is in bloom, it's quite nice. But even just like this, it's nice. And nearby we have a purple petunia. One other thing that is in bloom in my garden, so it could be in yours too, if you're in the same kind of zone, is the Dipladenia. I have some cosmos that have started. Can't remember the variety, but looking nice. Of course, geraniums are the usual one you can see everywhere in the gardens at this time of year. My Daphne is incredible. It is still in bloom, as you can see, with some flower buds, so it hasn't finished flowering yet. And look at this cutie verbena doing fine. I don't know why there are some places in the garden, some spots where it seems that the soil does better for some plants. Yeah. This one is Jazz Festival. In this pot there was a Dahlia Tropican Black that I had from cutting last year, but it didn't make it this year, so I've replanted one Dahlia Tropican Black and it's about to flower. Here is Isabelle Autissier Rose. This is a delphinium I grew from seed, so I'm quite proud of myself, even if it's a tiny one. And nearby, it's not in bloom yet, but I have high hopes this year. This is the purple hyacinth vine. And it's doing good, as you can see. One other thing that you can grow at this time of year and have flowers is sweet pea. So I have a few that are starting to get in the full swing. So there's this one, and nearby I have this other variety, more dainty. Another delphinium there. Nearby there's a beautiful purple salvia. And the purple Verbena bonariensis. And this is a plant I'm quite happy to have. It's a verbena, but it's not the officinalis one, it's the Bempton. And the foliage, it's darker, well, a bit darker, not that much, but it's nice. Oh, and if you like Verbena bonariensis, but you don't want it to be that high, there are dwarf varieties. So this one, well, this one is broken, but yeah, it's like 60 centimeters. Yeah, it's this thing that broke it. And in my hanging basket I have sun-loving and drought-tolerant plants. I'm not sure what I'm filming because it's a bit too high, but yeah, they look nice. In a little pot I got, there were these four different plants, so I've put them together in this terracotta pot and they're doing fine. So there's this yellow one, the verbena, this petunia, and yeah, these three ones. In this pot there's a euphorbia. It's not the diamond frost, it's the one with darker leaves. And nearby there's an ageratum, sorry for the pronunciation, and this one I grew from seed, so I'm proud of it. I wanted to show you this beast that is Lady of Shalott. These canes are like 2 meters high, and look at this cane. It is huge. It must be 2 meters long too, and look at all the future blooms. And then you have stems that grow on the arched stem, and these ones will bloom too. Bloom, bloom, bloom to come. They're everywhere. It is just full. It's a crazy blooming machine, and more than a blooming machine. Look at the beauty of these. Have you ever seen something so nice? I also wanted to say that if you didn't do it yet, it is still time to stake your plants, because then with the summer storms, and you'll be happy that you've done this. So don't think that because you didn't do it yet, it's too late. Just do it. I finished doing mine and I'm gonna show you how it looks. So here is how my dahlia staking looks. I put 3 bamboo canes and some twine, and it looks quite good. And here I have my dahlia Pineland Princess. I hope the staking isn't too close to it, but we'll see how it goes with the winds. and with all the leaves. I have another dahlia in bloom. I think it's the one called Whittam. I have some ants on it, so I can't cut it for inside. So about roses and staking, this poor new mini Eden was completely suffocating because of this ground cover that was completely covering it. So I had to make some room around it, and now it's doing fine. I can't show it to you, but I've been there. And behind it there's a new stem coming out, and yeah, the stems were coming towards me and not towards the wall, so I've just added some twine to make it progressively come back to the wall. And I've done the same with this rose called Sabrina. Both are bred by Meillon. This is the last bloom. It's not looking like much at the moment, but you can see that I've added some twine there, some twine there. Here is the beautiful climber from Aldi. Look at these flowers. And someone in there. And I've created a staking system. Not very usual in the way of doing it, but it's working because these stems were going near me. And yeah, so there's some twine back there too. So we'll see how I'm gonna manage it. And behind here we have a dahlia growing, another sunflower vanilla ice seed pocket. I think I've sown some cosmos here too. Here is the reason why you need to stake lots of plants, because even with staking, look at what they're doing. Earlier on I was talking about soil quality, and you can see that here I have a peony aster doing great, and in comparison, just have a look at the tiny little one from the same seeds just there. So I don't really understand. There's no apparent reason for that, but yeah, I'm just looking after it and hoping it catches up. This is the rose called Adriana. Surrounded by alliums and a tiny foxglove behind. And behind these alliums, this is a note for myself. The fuchsia isn't doing fine here, because as much as it's full shade in winter, in summer it's like full sun, and this poor guy is frying. In this spot I have this daylily, which is beautiful. And just behind it I have dill. I really love the flowers of dill. You can use it nicely in arrangements and see how they go together. Behind it I have Donahue, but it's not completely back there. But behind it I have this double lily, and behind the lily there's a phylacterum. It's also frying a bit, but it's doing its thing and it's gonna flower soon. And on the left we have Silas Marner, which is quite impressive. Lots of flowers. They stay quite a long time on the plant. For me, can't remember how much. I need to deadhead it better than that. So that's the beautiful Silas Marner, but it's also quite impressive regarding its thorns. As you can see, you don't want to mess with it. I have this daylily, which I'm not sure which one it is, but it's nice. This one is Phlox Europa. I didn't pinch it, so I'm waiting a bit before taking out these blooms, and hoping that after that this phlox will be able to branch out and produce even more flowers. Now let me be a proud plant mama and show you what I've grown from seeds. Of course I didn't have plant tags when I've sowed them, so you'll just have to guess. But they're cute. More there, there, there. This container is quite full. In the middle there's a bush that I saved from a deaf shelf, and it's doing great. This is something I don't really understand. This is the only Alstroemeria that I bought. The other ones were given to me, and this one is not flowering, whereas the other do. If you have a Vitex, end of June seems to be the moment where they start flowering. It's only its second season in my garden. This one is grown in a big container, and I find the blooms really attractive, don't you think? Even when they're not blooming yet. The hibiscus starts flowering too. In here yesterday I've planted a dahlia made from a cutting, and I can't remember which one it is, but I figured it was going to do better in this big container rather than this little pot in my kitchen sink. And I couldn't manage to move this little plant. I think this one is a cobia, and I just took the top that I had pinched and put it in the pot with a dahlia, so now they're gonna try and grow together. Impressively, with my wisteria grown in this container, it is starting to bloom again. Look at those. More coming. More beauty. New growth. I won't say no. In there's my Salvia Amistad. Contrasting nicely with the wall. Here I have a Buddleia starting to flower. It's called Miss Ruby. A little overview of the back garden. June is also the time for this hydrangea, Candy Bell Bubblegum, and it is beautiful. I bought it last year and it was at the end of its flowering season, so it's my first time really enjoying its blooms here. And I had taken some cuttings from it. Look at them. I believe this one is a new addition since last time. And I underplanted this shrub with some nice snaps. Muhlenbeckia, variegated one. And a fuchsia. This one I wasn't sure it was going to come back, but it did. It's the center part that is dead. And even more recently, I have another one that is coming back. Look at how well this volunteer pansy is doing. So nice. June is also the peak season for oxeye daisies, as you can see. This coreopsis started blooming a few days ago. And this rose started blooming again yesterday. This is Graham Thomas. And I've added some sweet peas, as you can see just there. And it's nice with the Gora in the background. And now the lavender has started blooming. This one I grew from seed, and look at how cute it is. And I believe it's the Scabiosa drumstick, the one that you keep as a dry flower, dry seed head in arrangements. Here is another plant that I bought on a deaf shelf last year, and it had stopped flowering, and I thought it was the Echinacea green twister, but I'm not sure. It is just lovely, but I wonder which variety it is. Nearby we have a Monarda and a Salvia. Look at the bee having fun in the bloom. And nearby, recently I've decided to put in the ground the Lantana, because it's been a few years, it's coming back each year. and I figured it would do better in the ground than in a pot. I'm not sure how big this one is supposed to be in the ground, but we'll see. And then there's this beautiful Veronica. Recently I've staked this eryngium because it was completely falling on the ground, so it's doing better. And I've read recently that if you want for it to continue blooming, you need to cut the flowers, deadhead them. I don't know if you can see, but it's full of pollinators, so I might have to wait a bit for that. This Gomphrena is also one that came back, so I'm happy. I wasn't sure it would come back, but I'll be careful this winter and protect the crown. I'm happy it's coming back, but I'm not sure how large it's going to be and how large the lantana is going to be, so maybe I'll need to move some, but maybe it can wait. In this bed, if this one is Olivia Rose, it's having a rest. Nye Bevan is having a rest too, but putting on new growth. Then you have Penelope Lively that is full of flower buds, so next time I'll be able to show you. And here you have Vanessa Bell. At this time of year it's mostly white, it starts yellow. I'll show you close up. In this bed I'm having difficulties with the Nicotianas. As you can see, even the leaf color, there's something wrong, but I don't know what. When you see the Osteospermum nearby, there's clearly a problem. And I know I've put a lot of things in a small space, because as you can see there's also a lupin, but we'll address that maybe in autumn. I wanted to talk to you about these beautiful pink flowers. You wouldn't believe that this one is a Bidens. It's a pink one. It was tiny, like 1/5 of this size, and it's getting so happy in this space, so I really need it in my life next year and the years after that. I'm not sure of the variety, but look at this. You have lots of pink hues. It starts almost red and it gets to very faded pink. Lovely, lovely Bidens. Underneath, on the left, another Dahlia Tropic in black with this nice dark foliage, and then this dwarf rose. Then there's this foxglove. I'm waiting a bit still to collect the seeds. Here the rose is called Scarborough Fair, and it is gorgeous. And the space is a bit crowded by this Amy, which is getting huge compared to the one that I have in a pot that I'm gonna show you right now. See, it's behind Penelope Lively in this pot. It's high, but it's only one stem. Here I have Emma Bridgewater that took quite some rest, but is full of flower buds, so it's gonna be a nice second flush. And Gabriel Oak is also coming back, but it didn't take a rest that long. I'm starting to get happy with how this border is looking. Recently I've sown again, end of June, some things. So there's some alyssum and ageratum. I was thinking of making the border a bit fuller and less exposed soil. Here I'm happy because this one is a plant that I had from last year. It's a Gaillardia, a yellow one, and it came back and it was in a pot. And as you can see, it's quite branches and not as fresh, but I saw that it had some new growth coming from the base. So it went in a bit of a shock when I put this one in the ground, but it's coming back. So when these ones will get much thicker, fuller, bigger, I'll cut the other branches back. So maybe next year I'm gonna be able to have again this nice plant. Nearby I have a snapdragon that I'm in love with. Look at these colors, it looks like apple blossom. And then as you can see back there, there's the one I'm not sure how to pronounce, Scaevola. And I've added this one in a few areas of the garden. Nearby I have the Scabiosa. And if you want to have your plants that keep on going flowering, you just remove the spent blooms and it will keep producing new lovely flowers. June is also the time for the fuchsia to bloom. So now I believe I have 3 different ones in the garden. And I'm starting to have these gladioli blooming, and the other day there was a bumblebee sleeping in a flower. It was so cute. It is also the time for the balloon flower to come back. This one is one of the 2 pieces that I have from one plant that I bought last year that I divided. So there's one there and one on the other side. So here it doesn't look like much, but it's a bleeding heart plant, and it seems that it could be a nice time for it to be divided. So I'm gonna try and cut it there because there were 2 stems here, and replant this small part somewhere else and see how it goes. I've recently added some snaps everywhere in the garden because they were not doing well in their little pots, and so now I'm just hoping for the best because we're gonna have high temperatures, but I'm gonna be on the lookout for the watering. Look at this nice one. It's not starting to put on fruits yet, really. So this is the border near the central mini pond, and lots of things are not in bloom, but I'm happy I'm having them. I'm not sure I had them last month. So this one is a Veronicastrum called Cupid, and this daylily has started flowering. It is beautiful, I wasn't sure. And this one is called Etrusque. It is mostly pink. So that's how Etrusque daylily looks like one day after. This Escallonia pink ale has almost finished flowering. It has been a pollinator magnet. It was insane how many I could count at the same time. So I know that this one can rebloom if I deadhead it. So I'm gonna wait a bit and then I'll try and deadhead it. I can see it sending long fresh canes there. That's nice. In the pond there's lots of life. These ones that are flowering. Unfortunately, my water lily isn't. I don't know what to do for it to flower. Some people say it needs more sun, but if there's more sun, then I'm gonna get some algae. So yeah, I don't know. And for the first time this year, this plant is getting out of the water. It's a funny one because when it's too cold, it goes down in the pond, and when it's getting hot, it comes back up. Of course, it's also the lily flowering time. And on the other side you have penstemons and my baby cutting of the Elizabeth rose. So at this time of day the flowers are completely open, but in the morning and the evening they're closing and they look really nice. Nearby we have some sweet peas, purple ones, and then I think it's a campanula back there, and here I have a courgette, and here I have planted my cutting of a rose called Claire Matin. Nearby there's one dahlia, two dahlia, three dahlias, a salvia, pineapple salvia, and here I've added a campanula pyramidalis, so it's just there near the amelanchier, serviceberry, and the silk tree behind in a pot there, in which a tomato has decided to grow. So this heptacodium is starting to prepare its flower buds. And in this flower bed near the heptacodium I've added a Korean bellflower, and I'm amazed because it's been quite recent and it's already preparing its flower buds. Here I have my hibiscus. This one is a dinner plate one with fuchsia flowers, so this one is really happy, and this one is the most recent. It only has 2 stems. It's called Joli Coeur. I'm really loving the foliage on this one. Here I'm glad to be able to show you my lovely Desdemona. The flowers are a bit on the small side on this second flush, but how gorgeous are they. And as a companion plant there is some dark pink Achillea yarrow. My dwarf Buddleia is starting to bloom. So here behind the lantana I've tried to sow some lavateria, and we'll see how it goes. I've also tried to sow a bit everywhere some cosmos seeds, and I can't even remember where exactly, but I'm hoping that some of them are gonna get up. Some of them have been kindly given to me, so I'm hoping to see them in bloom in the garden and to show them to the nice people who send them. That's the rose called Mary Delaney, but most of the blooms are spent. Potagon Negro. Near the tomato I've sown again some sunflower seeds, vanilla ice there, back there, and a few other areas. And so I'm hoping this time there won't be slugs eating them. Princess Anne has finished, almost finished, a second flush. It was really nice, lots of blooms there and there and there. I still have this one, another flower coming here, and two there. On the other side, Princess Alexandra of Kent is preparing two blooms. It's quite disappointing for the moment. And Princess Charlene de Monaco, only one bloom. In this container I have a plumbago that came back from last year, and there's also a tomato that decided to grow in there. And I've added some sweet peas because this time I'm gonna try to grow sweet peas, but with plant tags, so now I'm gonna be able to know which variety is which. Because for the moment this one, I'm not sure which one it is. One major change in this area, if you remember, there was a huge Cistus purpureus, and it was completely leaning over Princess Charlene de Monaco and the salvia and everything. So I decided that I didn't have a garden big enough for it, so it came out. And I've put a Cleome instead, which is an annual, and it's getting better. It was in a small pot at a small price, so I'm just being patient with it. So flanking this arch, I have two the pilgrim roses, growing nicely. But on the right, you have Royal Jubilee that is blooming again. From the other side, this is how she looks. So that's when the flowers are open, but usually they're just closing like this, and they look like a peony. Who is there? A future butterfly. And buds. I almost forgot to talk about it, but June is also the agapanthus season. Look at this one. A nice blue. And here you have a beautiful fireworks variety with a bee somewhere. Yeah, in there. In this side of the bed there's another agapanthus. I think it's the same variety of one of the previous ones. There's this beautiful echinacea that I'm so glad it came back. Back there, having a rest, there's a daylily. This one is called Caramia. Look at how beautiful this echinacea is. It's like a neon pink. It is glowing. Near the echinacea there's another penstemon, and penstemon like these, you need to deadhead them to have flower all throughout the season, whereas penstemon like this one, Dark Towers, you mustn't deadhead because you won't get more flowers. So leave them and you'll have some nice winter interest when the winter comes. But these ones, you just go down. You don't cut it just after the flowers. To make it the stem more sturdy, you just have to go a bit down there and cut it. Behind it I have a quite unusual variety of Gora. As you can see, the foliage is variegated and it has white flowers. And here it doesn't look like much, but there's another daylily, and this one is called On and On. But as you can see, it doesn't go on and on right now. In this pot, the rhubarb is coming back. So we'll see if I manage this year to get anything from it. This plant was one I got bare root with a few others, and it got so many aphids. I was quite embarrassed and didn't know what to do, but I've waited and there are much less, and some ladybugs came and other predators, aphid predators came, so that's still food for them. Here I have a plant that I will need to put in the ground maybe in autumn. It's called Acnetus mauve. I don't really have a flower to show to you right now, but it's gonna be beautiful. And here you can see a rose bush. This one is Abraham Darby. It doesn't look like much as a bush, but I'm gonna show you the flowers. Look at this one. This one is droopy because it rained last night. Let's see how this one looks. Wow. So nice. And this one. Oh, isn't that nice? And Buscobel is coming back for its second flush. I am so happy. I love this rose. Look at this bloom. Wow. And near Scarborough Fair, I've messed up because it was supposed to be a yellow dahlia. As you can see, it's not yellow. So I'm not sure which one it is. It might be Habet Frombo. So we'll see where the yellow is, and this will give me information about that. It's a nice one. Near Abraham Darby I have some sweet rocket, Hesperis matronalis. and a few weeks ago I've cut it right back because it was spent, and as you can see now it's tinier, but it blooms again because it was like up there. I like it like that. Near the Sweet Rocket there's another rose called the Poet's Wife. So it starts on this bright yellow and it fades to a nice pale one. And I don't have a Septodile bloom for you to see this month, but most of these they're on the first season, and I'm quite impressed by what they managed to do. Behind there are two peonies that didn't bloom this year, and there's a salvia. Where is it? There's a salvia there that hasn't bloomed yet. Poet's Wife and Abraham Darby. This one is a Desdemona that I have in a pot, and look at the color. I'm impressed because it's quite bright this time, tiny, dainty, and more colorful than the last flush. It's not bright, but usually it's paler, more on the white side than the peachy creamy one. I think this one is called Feverfew. How cute. And I didn't remember that I had planted one there. Nearby there's another kind of Achillea. This one is called the Pearl. Near some Osteospermum. More Osteospermum. And near Mary Delaney, in a pot, we have this mysterious rose that I made from a cutting from Geoff Hamilton, which is a pale pink, and as you can see, it is not. The flowers, they stay quite a bit on the stem, as you can see, not looking horrible when they fade. And yeah, even if it was from the only yellow one that I had in the garden back then, that's Graham Thomas, it's nothing like it. Nothing. So the lavender is starting to bloom. It's only the beginning. How good it looks with the Gora behind. And just nearby there's a lily that's gonna bloom soon. And here is a closer look at this nice sweet pea. And the beautiful Graham Thomas. Near the other mini pond I have a pink lobelia, bought as a small plant this spring. I have a few flower buds on Strawberry Hill, so I have to wait a bit. Near this Feverfew I have a new one, Coreopsis Moonbeam. Very pale yellow, looking nice. At the same time, I had added a painted daisy, Robinson's pink, but I think I'll have flowers next year. I'm just gonna take a strawberries in the meantime. This hydrangea Fraise Melba, maybe Strawberry Sunday, is starting to bloom. That's my try at a honeysuckle standard. I've moved this redbud in the shade because it was getting scorched by the sun, so we'll see how it goes. And back there is the hydrangea Diamantino, looking really nice with those shades of green and white. I'm not impatient for it to turn pink. I really enjoy this stage. It looks so fresh, don't you think? And back here I managed to find back one of my Acteas that I thought had disappeared. So that's the dark foliage one, and there's another one much bigger back there. Here is a baby hellebore that I moved here in winter, still slowly growing. And this is the other Actea called Racemosa. I'm still having Nigellas blooming, different varieties. Look at this spider. And the Nigella foliage looks a lot like other foliage when you don't look close enough. I'm just going to show you. See, I really think this one looks alike, but it's a few. Most of the flowers that I've shown you in my garden are pollinators friendly, so if you're looking for one to attract insect, can be an eryngium, it can be achillea, it can be monarda. And underneath this Ami, look what I've discovered. Some geraniums, pelargonium, came back from last year. Oh, and near the arch I have this fennel, bronze fennel, growing nicely, and the leaves are very tasty. Last year I thought that I had dug out all of these gladioli, but no, some came back. So first of all, I want to show you the veggies that are coming up. Here in these two light green pots I've planted some cucumbers, and this one was ready before these ones, so that's why, as you can see, it's doing much better, and I'm really happy with how it's doing. And if I didn't make an experiment like 2 or 3 years ago, I would think these pots are too small, but 2 or 3 years ago I went to a place where they gave us this box, and I grew 2 cucumbers in there successfully. I had cucumbers, so this is not very big, and I think I can put as much soil in there than in there. So, and as you can see, I have flowers. It's doing fine. There's this squash, and it is called Blue Ballet. This one I didn't have to pay for it, so if I get anything from it, I will be happy with it. Lots of flowers coming. Here there's a cherry tomato called Cocktail Clémentine. So here, quite a few strawberries. Almost everywhere. I just have to bend down and harvest. In the back garden I have 1 courgette. The variety is called Courgette Longue Greffée Diamant F1. I don't know if I can make you understand how huge this beast of a tomato is. As you can see, there are 7 stakes, and it's not enough because I have this long cane, and it's a grafted tomato, and this is what you can expect when you plant a grafted tomato, grafted plant. So this variety is called Trilly, and it's already bearing fruits everywhere. I even saw some lying on the ground. Look at this. There. And more fruits there and there. Everywhere. Here there's a tomato that has been added recently. It's a grafted one, so although it didn't look that good, it had fruits, and I'm really hoping, as you can see there, it has some nice leaves too. I also have a volunteer tomato in this pot. Here is a tomato that I'm trying to grow in the shade. Well, not in the shade, in the pot shade. So we'll see how it goes. And nearby, there's an aubergine, finally doing great and flowering. Starting to get big. So I'm happy with that. I have an artichoke trying to grow back there. I'm just wanting the flowers. Now I want to show you the fruits that I have in my garden in end of June. In the back garden I have my peach tree with quite a few peaches. Very tiny, but we'll see how they go. Regarding fruits, I don't know if you remember, but I really pruned back severely this fig tree this winter, and I was afraid for it. I thought maybe this time I've been too harsh, but look at this. By pruning it so harsh, I've missed the first batch of figs, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna come closely, and I will have plenty of figs. So I'm glad I've done it, and now I'm gonna be more careful when pruning it, and also after pruning it back, it sent lots of suckers from down there that I've cut back recently, and it's looking fine. Talking about fruits, there's my crabapple that has lots of little apples on it. These ones will turn red. Look at this one, quite big. And yeah, they'll stay during winter and be the food for the birds. And they'll just be a nice winter interest for me. The blackberries are starting to get black. Can't wait. And this blackberry is a thornless one, as you can see. No risk of hurting yourself with this one. Only beautiful blackberries. You can see nearby a melon having fun. It's been fertilized recently. Regarding fruits, I have 2 blueberries here. And as you can see, the blue is starting to be ready, as is the pink one. So cute. As usual, I have lots of strawberries as ground cover. And near the strawberries, we have a watermelon. Oh, and as you know, my videos aren't only about flowers, it's also about pollinators. So let's have a look at the few that are having fun today. Bees love Gora. Recently in the garden, I've had a different kind of pollinator, quite big. In French it's called Scolie, and Scolie des Jardins. Like there's one, it's huge like this, and it really enjoyed these huge alliums that you see. Oh, there's one on the second one. These alliums are the summer drummer variety. I need to try and go closer to show you this insect. See how big it is? It's quite impressive. But it's just interested in the flower. And this one is full of pollen. And this one is the other kind, it's the smaller one. And nearby there's this Echinacea, which I forgot the name, but look at this pollinator, how well the colors are matching. It's not all about insects, it's also about lizards. A little lizard. And so, my friends, this is going to be the end of this garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got inspired maybe to add 1 or 2 plants, maybe a pollinator magnet, maybe something else, maybe a rose. If you have any questions regarding one of the plants, don't hesitate and tell me what is blooming in your garden, or which kind of veggies or fruits you have that you can't wait to harvest. I'm interested. I hope you have a very nice day and see you all in the next one. Bye.